Hit the like button on each live broadcast or video. This helps the channel grow. Hit the subscribe button and select the all notifications option. Hit the thanks button to buy a super sticker. You can do this on the live chat too. You can also join our Patreon page or buy us a coffee at the link in all of our video descriptions below. We are also looking for sponsors. If you want our latest advertising rates and how you can get involved, then email John at nufcmatterspodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.
Hush now, city kids, gather round for urban myths. Hush now, city kids. When it came to me after so long, I didn't have no choices in the streets where I was from. When I think about the pain, I didn't have no choices, I took what I had sworn. Hush now, city kids, gather round for urban myths. Hush now, city kids. But you know, the wouldn't let you have it any other way.
Good evening, welcome along to NUFC Matters, the start of another week. It is the fans forum. It's a packed house. I've got Pablo in the green room as well, so plenty of people to give their opinion on tonight's match against West Ham United. And then, of course, in the second half, we'll look ahead to the Cup final at the weekend. And that's what we'll be doing for most of the week, looking ahead to the Carabao Cup final. Tuesday, we'll have Joe Allen stepping in for Sid once again with Rob on Talk of the Tune. Wednesday, we'll see Geordie's here. Geordie's there. And Thursday will be Ask Gibbo. Friday, of course, the Amigos, with the added bonus of having Stu Penman on Friday night. Weekend will be pre-recorded because obviously I'll be away down to London, and then we'll be back live again next Monday for the fans forum. So Newcastle return to Premier League action this evening against West Ham. They begin the game in 9th place, the lowest they've been for quite some time after the weekend's results went against us. Kick-off at the London Stadium is 8 o'clock, which means that it is live on Sky Sports. 3,000 Geordies will be in attendance. And at the request of the home side, the away ticket transfer scheme closed at 9 a.m. today. So if you're wondering why you can't transfer a ticket now or have been trying this afternoon, that is the reason why. Speaking of the media on Friday, Eddie Howe confirmed that Alexander Isak was fit and had trained all week. And Tino Livramento and Kieran Trippier had also come through the previous game unscathed. Anthony Gordon begins his 3-game suspension tonight, while Lewis Hall and Sven Botman miss out due to injury. Hall, of course, his season is over. Botman is supposedly out for 8 weeks, but when you look at it, 8 weeks, well, it more or less takes you towards the back end of the season anyway. So I would expect maybe an update on that at some time later in the future. Jamal Lascelles is still the remaining long-term absentee. He has commenced light training ahead of a planned return before the end of the season. As for the home team, West Ham, Lucas Paqueta is available for selection. Kufal is doubtful. Antonio, Somerville and Fulkrug are all out. Graham Potter's side are bidding for their 3rd consecutive Premier League win following a 1-0 victory at Arsenal, a 2-0 home success against Leicester City. And an FA Cup exit to Aston Villa means that they had an 11-day gap between their last game and tonight's fixture. At home this season, West Ham have lost 7, they've won 5 and they've drawn 2. They've recorded just 2 clean sheets during those games. And the referee tonight, Michael Salisbury, first tune game of the season for him. And on VAR, it is Alex Chilowich. So, George, I'm hearing rumours that Nick Pope's back in goal tonight. And we'll wait to see whether that's confirmed. Obviously, you know, that could mean one of two things. He's decided that Nick Pope's his goalkeeper for the cup final, or he's decided that Nick Pope will be playing tonight and it'll be he's protecting his keeper for the cup final, who's Martin Dubravka. We'll only know the answer to that come Sunday, of course. But big game, George. West Ham, because it's our next one, and the results did go against us. So what are you hoping for? What are you expecting tonight, George?
Well, I'm expecting Newcastle United to win. That's why I wear black and white. That's why I bleed black and white. Nothing changes. If I too have heard that Pope's playing tonight, and I just find that amazing. The furore about the possibility of Dubravka going, getting him to sign a new contract, and I've got to say, it wasn't necessarily something I was cheering about, but since he got that contract and since he got back in the team, he's played as well as he's ever played while he's been here for me. And I really struggle to see why Pope got in the other weekend. You know, it's a puzzler, that one. But even before all of this, I heard from one or two of my sources saying that Eddie was sympathetic to Pope playing in the cup final because he missed the last one. Well, I'm sorry, Eddie, if you do that, you're really, showing yourself that there's a chink in your armour, because if it's about sympathy, then we're never going to win anything as short as that. But at the end of the day, we'll see what happens tonight and see what happens at the weekend. But my view would be that you let Dubravka play, so he keeps his hands on the ball for Sunday, so he's ready for Sunday. I wouldn't be dropping him just to let Pope have a game. After that, it'd be interesting to see what team he picks, who plays where, because that could be an indicator for who plays in the cup final. But it could also be a bit of kidology for Eddie, whether he plays who and where he plays them for the Liverpool game. So it'll be interesting what the team is tonight. I'm pleased that Livramento's fit. I'm pleased that Trippier's fit. That's good. I'm not going to go on too long. All I'd say is that we've got enough in our team, even as it is with the injuries, to beat that West Ham team. I've got no doubt about that. And even though they've had this surge of form because of Potter's intervention into West Ham, I still think we can do it against them. And whoever plays up front, they'll be scared to death of Isak. They won't be too happy, even if it's Wilson, because he has a knack of scoring goals against them. No, I'm the only one thing I want to see is that the Newcastle side protect Bruno a little bit, because Paqueta will mark Bruno out of the game. There's no question. That's what they'll try to do. But I'm still positive enough to think we get a point or points out of this game, and it pushes us into the mix again for European places. So I'll leave it there for the time being, because there's a lot of lads on.
Okay, Kev, I know you've got to get off at 6:45, so we'll get you on next. West Ham, playing them at a time when they're just starting to pick up a bit of form.
Yeah, and then, like I said last week, it's going to be quite an interesting tactical battle, because I think Graham Potter's an intelligent manager in how he sets his sides up. Obviously, they've had a little bit of a bounce, winning 2, not conceding any. So they're coming into, like you said, a bit of form. But again, it's one of those where it's a massive week for the football club. Yes, it's in Premier League's the Premier League. That's your bread and butter, and then you've got the cup final on Sunday. However, I can go down the Eddie Howe road of we'll just play the next game. Well, yeah, but like I think Mitch said it last night on the professionals, on the professionals, it's getting that consistent run back together again, and it starts today, and that will develop some confidence going into Liverpool, which I mean, as long as I know, it's still got the football pitch has still got white lines and 2 goals at the end of it, with a football in the middle of it, and everybody 22 lads trying to kick the ball around. So the game doesn't change. It's a one-off type of game, and not tonight's a one-off game, but we have to get some, I don't know, some consistency, fluidity within our play, because it's been very sloppy over the past 6 weeks or so. It's been very inconsistent. You never know what you're going to get. But I think tonight will be a benchmark of how we're going to go, or what they want for this week. If we give, like we said previously before the show went live, if we give everything, and I said last week, run through a brick wall for this football club, we'll be successful tonight, and we'll give Liverpool a really difficult game and give them something to really play for. Like if they are the better side on the day, anybody, if they're better side on the day than you, look, I can accept that. But what I can't accept is the desire and the want and the will of playing for Newcastle United. I just can't accept that. But well, again, it's for me, it's going to be an interesting tactical battle tonight, I think, and it'd be very interesting to see who he does start. If it is Nick Pope, I'm quite concerned about that. I don't think he's shown enough to be back in as he's number one. I would have played Martin Dubravka, and I agree with George, just to keep his hands warm, to keep his momentum going and keep his confidence high. But again, we'll have to see. It's above my pay grade. At the end of the day, I don't make them decisions. But we all can make every decision going. But I think it's going to be a very, very interesting team selection. It'll probably say a lot for this coming weekend.
Okay, Alan, West Ham. Well, some decent results down here, and I mean Alexander Isak, of course. Again, that's another big question mark. We'll know quite soon if he's playing tonight or not. Some people feel like he should be wrapped in cotton wool, but other people think that we should be playing him tonight because your Champions League place is just as important, if not more important, than winning the Carabao Cup. And we've got Callum Wilson, who scored 12 goals in 15 games against the Hammers. So, but I think on the flip side of that, Callum Wilson isn't the same Callum Wilson that he was before he got injured. At the moment, he's struggling to hit the barn door. What's your views about tonight's game, Alan?
I just think it's a massive game. That's an understatement for European football. I think top four. If we lose tonight, I think top four is out of the question in the sense of it's going to be very, very hard. But if we win tonight, we're right back in the mix. We've got 6 games at home, 4 away, and it's right up there. And like Kevin said before, it's all about conference. Any one of the top 10 teams, if they string 5-6 wins together now, they're in the top 4. Nottingham Forest are having a season like we had when we got top 4. They're winning games that they really should, on paper, I don't think they should, but they are. And so they deserve to be in the top 4. I've got no doubt, I think Dubravka will be in the final now. If Pope's tonight, Dubravka's in the final for me. I think he's resting him. Well, that's the right thing. That's what he's paid for, the manager, to make them decisions, them tough calls. I would love to win tonight. I'm praying we'll win tonight, and I think we will win tonight. But it's all about mental attitude. I don't want to, come away tonight and think they got beat 2-3-0 and then never put a challenge in, thinking of the final on Sunday. Because for like most fans, then top fours, and it's going to be massive for the club going forward, I think. But winning the cup is even bigger for me. It's been a other fan. We've thought to the team. I hope the like the Bravna players. I hear Tino and Trippier's fit. Go for it. Go start Isak from the start and take him off after 60 minutes. We'll start Wilson at the start. It's big calls for the manager to make. But I'm looking forward to tonight. Nervous energy. It's funny, lads. And the last time we played West Ham, everybody was bank a win on the show, when we came to play at St James's 4-5-0 and we got beat 2-0. Now most of the neutrals are saying we're going to get beat. So let's see if we can flip it on the other side and win tonight and have confidence. And just end by saying, Steve, that Liverpool have got a massive game tomorrow night against PSG. So I want to hear no form of tiredness of the lads on Sunday, because Liverpool will just be as tired. But fingers crossed, lads. Massive week this week. Hope we win tonight and give it our all on Sunday.
Okay. Magnus, how are you feeling in Iceland about tonight's game?
Yeah, I didn't actually realize we were going to be talking about this game on a Monday when we last spoke. So this is why we skipped all the discussions. I am feeling nervous. At the same time, I'm hopeful for us to play our very best team. I really don't think we're in a position that we can be choosers. I would like to see us play. Maybe if there's any fatigue in the defense, then Emil Kraft is ready to put in a shift. Up front, I'm pretty pleased, and also in the middle, I'm pretty pleased with the midfield. I am slightly worried about Kudus at West Ham, and this is a huge opportunity. If we do decide to rest Isak, then this is a huge opportunity for Callum Wilson to show us what he's made of. And I am expecting the normal 4-3-3. However, I would like to maybe start seeing a defensive midfielder above the defense, and who better than Sandro Tonali to do that, If we were to do that 4-1-3-2, then Miley should be the next one in line to start a game. As I say, I think it's a huge opportunity. I'm hoping for 3 points. Let's just go for it. We really cannot be saving any players. If the worst happens, then the worst happens, and we have a strong squad. We just gotta use absolutely everybody we got. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Cheers, Magnus. Thomas, thoughts from stateside?
Well, I think we should put out the strongest side as possible tonight. Let Sunday take care of itself. We got the Premier League too. With that said, I think I would alter my formation a little bit with Sunday in mind. I like a back five. I think we do better on a counter. But I'm going to change that just a little bit, as I would put Cher in the center and allow him to go forward as well. So he's not quite a holding midfielder, but he'd be allowed to go forward. So I think I'd go to a back five. I start Isak. I think that the midfielders are going to be Big Joe, Tonali, Bruno, and Murphy. So that's my lineup. Kraft comes in, and that's my lineup. I don't care as much about the keeper. I think they're both par. I know there's a lot of people. I got a friend of mine from West Benwell that moved here a few years ago, and he was shouting at me last night about Dubs being so much better than Pope, and I had to shout back because I don't really see that much difference between them. But I think the formation needs something. We need to do a counter, and again, that's with Sunday in mind, so the lads have to learn how to play together today. I understand a lot of people would be, would go to a 4-3-3 or the 4-3-2-1 or a 4-3-1, whatever that's going to be, even a 4-4-2. I could hear arguments for all of that, but I think we play best as a team, like we set up against Arsenal, and we play counter football.
Okay, thanks for that, Tom. Barry, West Ham away tonight, 8 o'clock kickoff. What's your thoughts?
I think we've got to go for it. Tonight is, for me, it's all about building confidence for the final. We've had some atrocious games recently, so a good win against West Ham would do us the world of good because it would get the players back in that winning mentality. I think when you look at West Ham, their away form seems to be much better than their home form. Their home form's been pretty poor. They haven't done that well at home. So for me, they're there for the taking, Steve. I think if we can grit our teeth. I know we're not going to necessarily have the ideal team playing there, but like people have said in the past on the show, that they should be playing for a cup final place. This is their last chance to impress the manager before the final. So they should be up for it tonight. I'm annoyed if he has picked Pope because I think it's pointing to favouritism, and I didn't think Eddie Howe was that bad. It's just Pope doesn't deserve to be in the team at the minute. Dubravka's far better keeper, and for how often a keeper gets injured in a Premier League game, I mean, Dubs should be starting the final as well. For me, I don't get it where he seems to be. He has his favourites and he sticks by them, and it's starting to get a bit tiresome. You think it's not what they should be doing. I know what people are saying about Isaac. I know that obviously they don't want him getting injured for the final, but I'd have him on from the start. Maybe bring Wilson on later on. Maybe think the second half and go for it. I think we need the 3 points to get us back, like Alan said, back into that position where we're battling again, because we are starting to slide away from the top 4, and that's not what we want to be doing. But I understand, obviously, what the guys are saying, that the cup finals are an important match, and I think it'll probably split the fans somewhat into which one's the more important, because financially wise, the Champions League place would bring us some more money, but like the guys have said, the cup final would do more for the fans. But I think we've got to go for it tonight.
Okay, thanks for that, Barry. Martin, big game this. It's always a game. Someone's made a point in the chat there. There we go. Benny says West Ham are hampered by their home crowd. They get frustrated with the team very quickly. They've been the same for years. So yeah, get the crowd quiet. A bit like what people do at Newcastle, Martin.
I think the thing with West Ham is they're a bit like us. It depends which West Ham turns up. They're inconsistent and hit and miss the same as we are. So I think the crux of the game, I think Barry and the guys and Alan made a point. I think it'll come down to the midfield. Whoever can control the midfield will win the game tonight. So I like I think Tom's right. I like the back 5 approach. I think 4-3-3. If I've said for a few weeks now, I don't think it's necessarily working all the time. I think with the goalkeeper, if he is bringing Pope back in, for me, I think it's a daft one. I think the one thing you want of your team, okay, I know you get injuries, but you want that consistency for me. You want that same back 4 or 5 playing week in, week out. The season where we got Champions League, we had that same back 5 pretty much all season, barring a handful of games. And we just had that consistency of them playing together. And we kind of, we've not been, okay, take out the inclusion of Botman. We've not really been forced by all those injuries up to the point of Hall, but we've kind of dropped in and dropped out, and I think it's frustrating. I think if I was Dubravka, I'd be frustrated. I think the thing for me with Pope now, what's clearly evident after the injury is he can't dive to the right to save his life. So that for me is a problem. Obviously, since the injury and whatever operation he got, if you look at some of the goals he's conceded in his positioning, it's purely around the logic of he doesn't want to dive to the right, and that's a problem. So if he's not in a position to be able to the full range of the diving, then he shouldn't be playing. Simple as. So I think it'll be interesting to see. I think the other thing that's a little bit weird for me, and I know Liverpool have obviously got PSG on Wednesday, but I find it a little bit odd that we're the last game of the Premier League weekend at 8 o'clock on the Monday night, the week before a cup final, when there was a whole heap of other games that could have been Monday night at 8 o'clock. So I think the fixture's a little bit odd as well, the timing of it, or that there wasn't a change given, 5 or 6 days then to recuperate, retrain, and get ready for Wembley. So that's kind of annoyed us a little bit as well. But I think Eddie will go with the tried and trusted. I would be surprised if he chops and changes too much. I'm glad that Isaac is fit. I was worried last week. I did put on Twitter, listen, if he's not 100%, I wouldn't risk him. I think you need to have him for the cup. And, a few people kind of went one way, which was, we need Champions League, which I agree. But the problem with that top 7 that's there now, take away the top 2 there between Liverpool and Arsenal. 7 teams below that, they're all taking points from each other. That it's only really Forest that's picking them up regularly. Did anybody expect them to beat City at the weekend? I certainly didn't. But they did. So they haven't that season, as Alan said, that we had. But there's teams below. Bournemouth drop points. Spurs are still being Spurs. So there's still points there to be won. And I think, I think as long as we get Europe of some format to have European football, obviously the higher up we can get, the better. But as long as I think we get in that top top 6 or 7, then I think we'll do okay. I'm sure as you said, Steve, we'll talk about the cup final. But I think we've enough to beat them tonight. I'd like to see Osula get a run out as well. I know Wilson has a knack of scoring, but I just think when we play Birmingham in the cup, I liked him on that right hand side. I said last week I would put him in there sometimes for Murphy and have him cutting inside. I think he gives us another threat. I think for me, he's a possibility to look at, certainly for a bit of time against Liverpool, because they won't be expecting it. I think the lad could cause either Trent or Robertson some problems down that side, and I think we just need to give them something else. So I'd be looking to give him a run out, I think. But as I said, I think for me it's midfield. Whoever can pick up the midfield. I'm glad Kufal's not playing because he has a habit of scoring against us with unmarked headers. So I'm glad he's not playing. So I think whoever bosses midfield will win it. But I think I'm going to go for a Newcastle 2-1.
Did you get a bit of stick at the weekend? I noticed you put a post out about the cup being gone. I think you got a bit of hit with negativity, Martin. How did that
I got
work?
a little bit of flack, but sometimes it's good to go fishing.
Yeah. Yeah, I would. At the end of the day, mate, that's what it's all about. Social media. Don't take it too seriously.
No, listen. Do you know what it is? There's opinions, and the problem in particular with Twitter is that you can't have an opinion.
Yeah.
But listen. There's good lads on this panel from George right the way through, including your good self, Steve. We've all got opinions. We all have opinions on this panel. We don't always agree, but you're entitled to it, whether you're right or wrong. But some of the verbal abuse I got was fair. But listen, if that's how they feel, fair play. But each to their own.
Martin, isn't that why it's the beautiful game?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I can take an opinion, George, but I have one or two that I got the dickhead and the few F's and the B's and everything else. I don't see the point of that. It's just an opinion. But hey, listen, if that makes them feel better going to bed when the mummy's tucking them in, then fair enough.
Well, it's unnecessary. It really is.
All right.
Well said, Mon. Well said.
Okay, Jeff, over to you, mate. Give us your views about tonight's game, Jeff, please.
Well, I don't think you ever approach a game with the thought that you're not going to win it, right? You put your strongest team out and you go out to win. I'm not a believer in resting players, resting goalkeepers. What's that about? That's ridiculous. Dubravka will play. I can't, Pope's not, Dubravka's playing better. His distribution's better. Everything's better. So he will play. I've gotten, the idea he'll be on the bench if anything else. I think our midfield is very strong. I'm not concerned about that. I'm still a bit concerned about our set pieces. Generally speaking, I think our fans are far more imaginative about positions and moving teams around and weird things that we could do than Eddie is. Right? Eddie tends to stick with a formula that's working, and in the case at the moment, it's not working that well. But we're not losing games by big margins. And when it comes down to the end of the season, goal difference is going to be important. Right? We can't forget goal difference. But God, I would like 3 points because it's horrible being down there among all those other also rounds. We're a proper club.
Great stuff, Jeff. Pablo, good evening. Your views on tonight's game, pal?
I'm just glad my body double's not playing Michael Antonio. Remember him last year? What a tank he was. No, tonight I like them West Ham. I've always said West Ham are basically a Cockney us. They've got decent-sized fan base, often promise a lot, never really deliver. So I always kind of liken them to us. I think the West Ham game, I think any notion, obviously us as fans, we have got our eye on that cup final. Let's not lie about it. But I think as a football club and a business and exactly where we are poised in the Premier League, forget Sunday. It's all about tonight. You've got to pick your strongest team because the way results have gone, pardon the cliche, we've got 11 games left of the season now, and it's that tight. 11 cup finals. Any one of them 11 could maybe edge us into Europe, maybe edges into that Champions League. So I think any notion of playing a weakened side or a different side tonight, I think it's a fantastic opportunity for us to get a strong side out and propel the confidence into Sunday. So for me, I would go strong. I don't know, that'll probably split people in two because a lot of people think maybe, you should maybe give a lad a rest or maybe try a different idea. But we've not been in the best of the form, and what better place to start on a Monday night down there because they are beatable. I know you mentioned before they've picked up a bit of form. They've beaten Leicester and Arsenal. They're in any team really in this Premier League at the moment which is in form because they usually go 1 or 2, 3 games and they're losing again. So I think it's a fantastic opportunity to really propel ourselves into Sunday. And when tonight's finished at 10 o'clock, then we put our focus on the cup final. But for me, it's a Premier League game in where we're still fighting technically for a Champions League football position. So tonight for me, he's got to go all out for the win. And like one of the lads said before, if you silence them if you get a goal against them in the first 15, 20 minutes, all them Cockneys will be going wild on the baby cham, and we'll hopefully 3 points. But I think Blue Rhythm Boy said it in the chat before. Fair play to the lads and lasses going down tonight, because they're going to go down London again in 6 days' time. I mean, that's huge support. That's a lot of finance and that's a lot of effort. So well done to the people who are going tonight. And let's do them tonight.
You nearly went full Kevin Keegan there. We're still fighting for this title. Okay, Ian, good evening, mate. Give us your views on
Sorry I was late.
Don't worry, pal. Get the note in. Drop us an apple off. What's your views on tonight's game?
Exactly the same. To be honest, I think you play your strongest team, and that for me means we stick with Dubs in goal, and I think you go all out to win the game, because we have been hit and miss. They have took their eye off the ball, definitely, for me anyway. With the final coming, it's one last chance for them to get back firing before we play Liverpool. It's going to be hard, really, really hard game, obviously, with the suspension to Gordon and the injuries, but we've got a fighting chance. It's a one-off game, isn't it? And avoiding all cliches, I think if we go in there as the underdogs, which we would have done anyway, whoever we had on the pitch, we're going in as the underdogs, but as real underdogs, that might actually suit us down to the ground. We're
going to look ahead to the final in the second half of the show, Ian. So concentrate.
Sorry, mate, I missed what we were doing. Actually, I just
concentrating on tonight's game.
Yeah, so tonight, I think we go all out. Let's get the win tonight. I've got a good feeling about tonight, which is one of the first good feelings I've had about Newcastle playing away from home for a while. So I think we go there, and we get the win, and that sends us on a positive note into the weekend.
Would you play Dubravka in goal tonight, or would you play Pope? We've heard that it's probably going to be Pope. And would you play Isak tonight, or would you play Callum Wilson on his own and keep Isak on the bench and wrap him in cotton wool?
No, if Isak's fit, well, it all depends on how fit he is. If he's 80% fit, I wouldn't play him. But if he is fully fit, if he's fit enough to play, I say play him and bring him off once we're in the lead with 30 minutes, 40 minutes to go, whatever. You know what I mean? If we're looking strong, but I honestly think we just need to play our best team. And if that cocks us up, then it's a brave move for Eddie. But if it does, it does. But I think you've got to just look at each player individually. Pope at the moment, unfortunately, isn't the holy one for me. He can't. He's scared to dive. You can see it. You can see it clearly. He's just not. There's something that's just stopping him diving. He is diving, but he's that second too late. His positioning's been bad, and I think that Dubs deserves to play. And I never thought I'd actually say that, but it's the truth. That's the way I feel. So yeah, and Isak plays if he's fit enough. If not, he's on the bench, and we play Wilson.
Okay. Last but by no means least, Tilly's number one, Darren. Darren, tonight's game, you're not there tonight. Denise has travelled down from the NUFC Matters chat, though. I'm down in London already this week, as well as the cup final, so I opted out. But what's your feelings on tonight's game?
Try and go for the win, and that's going to be hard. Our 2.5, I don't trust them, but they need to get morale, and try to keep a clean sheet. If Isak's fully fit, I'll play from the start. And again, I'll play the brother and goal all day, because Nick Pope, I don't trust them at all. So the only thing I'm not too sure, if Joe Litton play tonight, he's one cut off a ban. Does that include the League Cup?
He's got to be sent off to be to miss the cup final. If he gets booked, he won't miss the cup final.
Right. I wasn't sure. I heard he had a cut away getting banned, so it doesn't count the league. That's what's sorry. Yes, I would play Joe Litton and not the case scoring, and I'll play them. Saw them. I'll play Joe Litton and Joe Willock tonight, and maybe at Murphy, I suppose. They've got a choice.
It hurt you to say that, Darren. Hurt you to say that.
It's killing us, mate. He's got any competition. But I wouldn't play. Who said play Shaw in the middle? Centre midfield. He hasn't got the legs to do that. Probably when somebody can say that, because I know there's his opinion, but Shaw hasn't got the legs to do up and down in the middle of a pitch. It's been noticed whole season. He's getting slower. He's not the quickest anymore. So to see to play him in the middle, the pitch, he can't do it. So I'll play the 4-3-3 and try and go for the win.
Okay, the lads on the screen, let's get a prediction for the night then, George. Oh, sorry, George, I muted you earlier because there was a bit of a noise coming from your thing. Go on, George, give us a prediction.
All right, 2-1.
2-1.
2-1 Newcastle, yeah.
Okay, Darren.
2-1 Newcastle.
Okay, Kev.
3-0.
Martin.
Sorry, it was on mute myself. Yeah, 2-1. Same as George.
2-1. Barry.
I was going to say the same. I was going to go 2-1.
2-1. Thomas.
Pope clean sheet. 2-0.
2-0. Magnus.
Yeah, I'm at the 2-0 team as well. You know, I forgot to say one thing earlier. I would really like to see, with Gordon and Hall being out of the picture, I would like to see Tonali on the set pieces.
Okay, good shout. And Alan, your prediction?
3-1.
3-1. Okay, we're going to have a quick ad break. Back after this.
A big thanks to all our sponsors, Skips and Bins. Say hello to low-cost waste disposal with pay-as-you-go and contract waste management. Find them at their website, skipsandbins.com. Contact them, www.skipsandbins.com/contact. A big thanks to Mr. Vicky's Sauces, handmade in Cumbria. You can find them at their website, mrvickies.co.uk. Email info@mrvickies.co.uk or telephone 01768 210 102. A big thanks to our fanzine sponsor, United Group Travel. 2 crew, driver and courier, local family company, 3-star plus quality hotels and no interchanges. All excursions included. Find them at their website, www.unitedgrouptravel.com. Email them at beverly.ugtl@gmail.com. Telephone 01670 632 460 or mobile 0791 666 4174. Just £30 per person deposit. There are no strangers on our tours, just friends you haven't met yet. A big thanks to Media Arts for all the help with the technical side of things. You can find them at their website, media-arts.co.uk. If you want to listen to us as a podcast, you can go to Sports Social Podcast Network. You can also find us on iTunes, Spotify, and your other podcast providers. If you want to help support the channel, hit the thumb up, which is the like button. Click share to share to your other social medias. Click join to join the channel. And click the subscribe button. We've also got links in our description for buy us a coffee and to be a Patreon member. Some events coming up. An afternoon with Sir Les Ferdinand, 6th of April, 12 till 4. Tickets available from ticketmaster.co.uk. No Covers takes place at the Clooney, Lilac Lane, Ryder and the Chris Norris Band. Tickets from theclooney.com or by telephone in 0191 230 4474. An evening with Steve Howie and Steve Watson, hosted by Joe Allen, takes place at the Tyneside Irish Centre on the 27th of June. Tickets for that are from newcastlelegends.com. An evening with Peter Beardsley and Chris Waddle takes place at the Tyne Theatre and Opera House on the 23rd of January 2026. Box office 0844 246 1000 or website tynetheatreandoperahouse.tv. An evening with Bad Manners takes place on Friday the 30th of January 2026 and tickets available from ticketmaster.co.uk. And we have copies of The Entertainers 1992 to 1997, Kevin Keegan's Legacy, available from newcastlelegends.com. nufcmatterspodcast.com.
Okay, welcome back to NUFC Matters Fans Forum. Just going to have a quick chat about the cup final now from the lads' perspective. And Ian, coming to you first. You got prime position there. Big thanks to Kev, who's had to shoot off and pick the kids up. The cup final. How are you feeling about it? Optimistic? And I know we've got a game tonight, so that can change people's opinions if something happens to Isaac, for example. But what's your feelings about the cup final? You said earlier it's a one-off game, which of course it is.
Yeah, it's a one-off game. To be honest, if my feelings about the final were going to get changed, it would have been changed by now anyway. With a run of bad luck, I feel like we've had in the run-up, but I think hopefully that'll galvanise all the lads, and it could work in our favour. It could also work in our favour that Eddie might change things around with us having the players out that are out. We might see that he springs a surprise, which he often does. It's hopefully it's 90 minutes of football with us winning at the end of 90 minutes. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? But we can only go out and do our best. I think the players have done really well to get us to the final, and we've just got to keep our fingers crossed that they turn up on the day. And obviously, like you said, nothing goes wrong tonight. I'm actually feeling. It's not a free hit, but I'm feeling confident that it might help us galvanise and come together. So, hopefully, fingers crossed, we do well.
Okay, are you going to give us a prediction for the final?
2-1.
To Newcastle. Okay, 2-1 to Newcastle in the final. George, difficult because obviously say we've got the game tonight, but we'll talk about it, and you're going to be on a couple of shows before then. So, just give us your feelings. How are you feeling about the final, George?
Very positive, very, very positive, Steve. Going to Wembley is always for me, and I'm sure it is for the other lads. It's the occasion. It's the thing that breathes blood into Tyneside, in my opinion. And I've got no reason to believe that why we shouldn't be confident about this weekend as well. Yes, we're playing against a team that's winning everything, or looks like they're going to win everything, but they have bad days as well. They've lost some peculiar games at Anfield, even, never mind anywhere else. And I don't want to be next week harping on about the referee didn't do this, the referee didn't do that. I want to win it without any of that. It just boosts my spirit. I mean, hell, I've got it out tonight. There it is. I painted it first time since 1955, and I'm determined that I'll rattle the bugger on Sunday wherever I am. So watch out, whichever place I go to watch the cup, you're going to get your ears damaged. The contrast for me, Stephen, I've talked to you about this privately, is I was fortunate to be around for the 3 wins in the 50s. And this lead up to this cup, we've had injuries, we've had all sorts of weird things happen. The preparation hasn't been particularly good. But the presentation in the 50s was a bloody shambles. I mean, in 1951 cup final at Wembley, 100,000 at the old Wembley, we only got 12,500 tickets. Both teams. I mean, we complained about the tickets this time. Well, in 51, 12,500 tickets. And the Newcastle United directors give 1,500 of them to the players and staff. So there wasn't much for fans after that. And as I've said on here before as well, my father went to all 3 cup finals, and each of his tickets come from Buckingham Palace. And it didn't come from Newcastle United Football Club. And Joe Harvey was prosecuted for mis-selling cup final tickets. All before the game, all that's going on. And then there was nearly a strike by the players because of what they were going to be played. Our players at 1951 final got a £12 appearance fee. The blokes playing in the Coldstream Band got 25 quid. and the players, our players weren't getting 12 quid. They didn't go on strike, but they still went on to win the bloody cup. And so I'm up for it, Steve. That's all I can say. these occasions are the ones when if I sneezed, the snaps would be black and white. Never mind the blood. So yeah, I'm confident. And do you want us to give a prediction now or later?
No, we'll get it later in the week from you,
Right,
George.
okay. I'm up for it.
Okay, before we get to everybody else's opinion on the cup final, there's your starting 11 tonight. Good to see
God almighty.
Good to see my source was correct. Pope is starting.
Yeah.
Trippier, Shaw, Joe Linton, Tonali, Barnes, Isaac, Livramento, Murphy, Byrne, and Bruno. Very strong team. On the bench, Dubravka, Wilson, Target, Kraft, Asula, Willock, Longstaff, Maley, and Sean Neve gets in. He's on the bench tonight, the young 17-year-old. It's another young player getting a chance to potentially shine. So that's his starting 11. He's gone with Nick Pope. Will that mean ultimately that Nick Pope is the cup final goalkeeper, or is he protecting Martin Dubravka for the final? Only Eddie Howe will know. Darren, coming to you now. Cup final. You've got your ticket for Wembley. You'll be there. You've got your shirt washed. You sent us a photograph of it on the line, so it's all ready to go. What's your feelings about the cup final? Are you going for the day out, or are you going with the mindset of we're going to win?
I'm fully positive. It'll be positive down on Sunday. No more negative ones to go. I've got a feel we'll win. Something same I got to win. I don't know what it is because my brother's going this time. He didn't go 2 years ago. I'm in my lucky road number 14. Yes, we've had a few again since we've been unlucky. I just got to feel more. I've got to win. I know we've got a few like goings to spend and bottoming, but Liverpool can be beaten. You put pressure on them, show them no respect, and they don't like it. So get out there, work your socks out, and do everything you can. You know what I mean? Sort respect, work hard. I'd accept the worst come to the worst if we lose, but as long as we give 110%, I'd accept that. And I say but I want to win because I think UEFA football is the only way we're going to get in Europe this season. I can't see us finishing the Champions League this year at all. So the best I can see Newcastle finish is UEFA Conference. But I want to win. I fancy a win. I want to win. I've got a big week. I'm going to Cheltenham this week before I go to Wembley. So it's a big week for us, so it's got to be a...
What day are you going, Daz?
I'm going on the Wednesday afternoon, mate. So, so Cheltenham Thursday, Friday. Brentford come and go on Saturday.
I might see you on Friday. I'm there Friday.
Oh, yeah, then Sunday, Wembley, lifting the League Cup, hopefully. And I'm going for a 2-1 win against Liverpool.
2-1 win, and just reminding NUFC Matters viewers that if our friend Jacob Murphy scores the winning goal, Darren will then be heading towards a tattooist shop on Monday to get a tattoo.
If he's got to score the winning goal, I'll go and get a tattoo.
Which is great news. Everybody, at least it gives us all something extra to look forward to. That includes a winning penalty in the match, in the penalty shootout, of course, Darren, as well.
Yes. I hear that.
Right.
I'll be crying. I'll be crying if I get that. I'll be celebrating and I'll be crying on.
You'll be crying. We'll be crying with laughter. And Shane Smith makes a valid point. Nice to see we haven't got two keepers on the bench. Yes, that is good to see, mate, tonight. So, Alan, Wembley, feelings about this? 6 times, I think you've said you've been to Wembley and seen Newcastle come back with absolutely nothing. Got to be 7th time lucky. Kevin Keegan's number.
Well, Steve, my head says no, but my heart says desperately want to win. And I've never betted against winning a final. So my heart wins all the time. Just to get this monkey off our back, lads, for 70 years. I'll go around football if we win on Sunday. I'm wanting a 2-1 win as well. I'll go with the lads. I said it last week and I said it to Darren. I expect Win to win 2-1. I want Win to win 2-1. I want every man to do his duty, as one famous person said. And, I'm looking towards them putting on a performance. And like Darren said, I've seen 5 finals now and they've never turned up. And I want to see a performance where we end the game and go, well, we're damned unlucky. We're damned unlucky. Not, walking off feeling like 2 years ago, we should have done a lot better. So I'm looking forward to it. A lot of it with trepidation, but a lot of it with, excitement. Because let's face it, lads, we are now making finals. Don't forget the bigger picture. This is our second final in 2 years, and hopefully we'll be to more finals going forward in the future. I'm not giving up on top 4 because I think tonight will be a massive indicator to that. So I do believe we will win tonight and then win the cup final. Then the run in, everybody will be on a high. And I tell you one thing, I don't think any one of us in this panel next week, if we win, there'll not be a more smiley person than me.
All right.
So 2-1, Steve. 2-1.
All right. Good stuff. Magnus, you're going to have a party in Iceland, not the shop.
Well, yeah, I mean, most of us didn't get a ticket for Wembley, so we just thought, what can we do? So we made sure to throw a massive party over here at our home base, where we've had we've hired a troubadour. We're gonna have a little bit of a stand up and a pub quiz before kickoff, and then. Yeah, well, things are open for after the game. We might even do a karaoke. Who knows? I am so optimistic that I've booked a day off at work on Monday. So I'm just not going to show up. And that's regardless of if we win or lose, because I'm going to need to take it in either way. Feeling optimistic. My whole life is tainted by an underdog story, and we've never been glory hunting chasers. For me, this is a huge opportunity, and what we can do, we're going to be loud and proud on this side of the Atlantic Ocean, and all we hope for is that everybody leaves it on the field. Win or lose, we'll support you ever more. I am ready for the first trophy in my life. So whatever happens and whoever puts in a shift on a day, put in a shift. Do it like professionals. Do a good job. And that goes for the fans as well. Be as loud as you've ever been and make us all proud, even listening from the television. So, I'm optimistic. Do you want me to give a prediction now or is it later?
We'll keep yours for Wednesday.
All right.
Because you're going to do
hold back for now, but wherever you are in the world, make the most of the occasion. We've not been going to cup finals every day. Wherever you are, make the most of it. Make a good day of it with your family or your friends. Make a massive party and see if your boss will give you a day off the following day. We're taking this trophy home.
Steve Middlemiss says, can you just let him know when you're starting karaoke so he can shut the windows, Magnus?
I will.
I didn't get an invite over, Magnus, for the karaoke, but anyway, maybe next time.
You are invited. You are invited. Just get yourself on a plane. Come on.
Magnus, we've got a request coming in from Mark Byers. He says, can we get you to say, win or lose, we're on the booze?
Win or lose, we're on the booze.
Classic. Jeff, your feelings about the cup final, sir?
Well, I think we're going to win. I wouldn't approach it in any other way. I'm not any good at predicting scores. I don't like predicting the future. I left school to join the marine engineering industry, a bit like George. And I then went to university to become a mining geologist, just as Margaret Thatcher decided we didn't need mining. So my ideas about the future are not very good, but I'm pretty sure we'll win. I'm looking forward to hearing the fans. I'm sure we'll put on a huge performance, and I can't it would be difficult to describe what would happen if we win. I mean, I can remember the sort of sheer celebration of the team received when we lost. But if you put in a good show, everyone's going to be very happy. I can't imagine how the town's going to feel if we win. It's we'll have to ask George what it's like, you know. Yeah. Anyway, I'm up for it. You know, we're going to be fine.
Prediction, Jeff?
3-0.
3-0.
3-0.
Okay,
I'm
mate.
going mad.
Yeah. Pablo, your feelings then about the cup final?
I just hope that Eddie Howe has had Rocky IV on loop all week long in the training room. Do you know what? If you ask me, am I confident we're going to win? Let's be totally honest. No, I'm not confident. But I also know in sport and in life that if you don't go into anything believing that you can achieve it, and I hate to get all Winston Churchill on this, but you look at teams like, I remember sat watching Wigan versus Man City with a lot of Man City fans, and Wigan turned Man City over, and they were further down the odds than what we are. You know, United turning up and beating City, all these games over the years, you've got to go there believing you can do it. And it's 90 minutes of football, and 9 times out of 10 in a cup final, it's what team wants it more on the day. There's so many things that can happen. I mean, lo and behold, that Liverpool might get a penalty against them, which is my hope. But no, do you know what, mate? I'm of that mindset now. Let's go there, give it a bash. Listen, we've turned up against them so many times. You know, we've also failed so many times. But why can't we? That's what we need to keep asking. Why can't we? Everything's against us. Injuries, odds, Liverpool in great form. Whatever that is, it goes out of the window at kickoff time on Sunday. Do you know, who knows what can happen? I'm hoping for a win. I think it would be a slender win if we did, because I think cup finals are usually quite cagey affairs. And I think Liverpool playing Paris this week, hopefully that'll take the wind out of the sails. Because let's face it, that Liverpool-Paris game, I don't know if you lads have watched it, but whatever the VAR were taking, apart from brown envelopes, that honestly, that shocked me to the core. But yeah, do you know what, mate? Let's go for it. 1-0 win, Isaac.
Okay, Martin?
Yeah, I think the lads have pretty much said everything. I think that whatever the start, well, I think that the starting lineup for the game on Sunday is the starting lineup you see tonight.
No,
I think that's your Carabao Cup starting lineup. I don't think he brings Dubravka back in. I think he's made his call already.
I think he plays Willock. I think in the cup final he plays Willock. I genuinely do. I think he'll go with Joe Linton wide left and play Willock in the cup final.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, possibly. It'll be an interesting one. I think. Look, with the cup final, I think most of us said, "Listen, lads, just for once, just turn up." We've all seen a few finals where we haven't done ourselves proud, and I think despite the couple of losses in that this season, we're a bloody good team when we want to be. We showed that against Arsenal, so turn up. And I think the only motivation I would say is for those lads that pull on that black and white shirt is you have a chance to make yourselves bloody heroes and write your name in the history books. If that's not enough for you to bring that cup back to Newcastle, then I don't know what more motivation you need. So pull on the shirt and give it guts and all and just bloody turn up. For me, I'm hoping that the luck of the Irish goes their way because it is St. Patrick's weekend. So I will be absolutely toasted no matter what happens. But I'm hoping for a good run. I've taken Friday and Tuesday off work, so I've got 6 days off. So whatever happens, I hope I'm going back in because I sit right next to a Scouser on the Batcher desk where we're at. So I hope to hell I'm going back in on Wednesday and I can wind them up a bit for lunch. So yeah, listen, lads, just turn up and do us proud. It's time to bring it home. We've had too many nearly the brides and not enough the bride. So we need to step it up, bring it home, and let's all write ourselves into history. 1-0 with, if he plays, Harvey Barnes with the winner.
Okay, Barry.
It's hard, isn't it? I'm similar. I'm getting pulled two ways. The head thinks we're going to struggle. The heart wants us to do it. Like the guys have said, I mean, Liverpool haven't had the greatest last couple of games. They were nothing special against Southampton. PSG basically destroyed them. If it wasn't for the goalkeeper keeping them in the game, PSG were all over them And if you'd used the logic that we absolutely slaughtered PSG, then why can't we do it? Totally agree there. Obviously, the comments of the gentleman before us that we need our blue chip players to show up. You need your Brunos to play at the form. You need Tonali to play at the form. You need Isaac to play at the form. And we've got to go for it. Like I'm getting reminders of my friend Darren up there that it's a one-off match and it's hugely important to our fans, more so than anything else probably this season, which he's right. You know, our fans are so desperate to win something because it's been so bloody long since we've actually been in a cup final or been in that position, and we're up for it. We're going for it. I mean, for me, the entertainers trying to get the title and then getting caught by Man United was probably the closest I've seen them coming to winning anything. And even then, we just sort of chucked it away. I felt like we chucked it away with a few games to go. I pray they do it, Steve. I really do, because I would for the fans, I think it would be tremendous. I think it would give us such a boost for the rest of the season as well. Then why can't we go on to do, like Alan says, achieve a top 4 position if we can beat Liverpool, and they are beatable. They're not unbeatable, so we can do it. I'll be sitting there with fingers crossed, and I'll bite all my nails off when the match is on. I can see it coming a mile away, and I hope for the likes of Darren, who goes down to watch it, that it's a cracking game to watch, and we do ourselves justice.
What was your prediction, Barry?
I'm going for, like a couple of the other guys have said, a 1-0 win. I think it'll be a tight game, and I think we'll score late on in the second half and get a 1-0 win.
George Riley tape header from Jacob Murphy.
Yeah, that'll do me. A Murphy header at the far post.
Or a Frank Pingle back header. Tom, last but by no means least, you're coming across to the UK. Looking forward to seeing you myself. Give us your take on the final that we have coming up at the weekend.
Well, first of all, you're talking about a mole in the organization. You knew ahead of time that Pope was going to be between the sticks. So just a little bit more verified for that. You know what we're going to do? We're going to win the crowd. The crowd is going to be Newcastle. We know that the best and brightest and the most vocal supporters in the world are going down there. And the rest of the world is going to be, except for maybe the great unwashed and Liverpool and Sunderland, the rest of the world is going to be pulling for us. So we're going to win the stadium. We're going to win the crowd. I think Liverpool had played awful the other day. They got a big game ahead of them. And regardless, I think they're going to come in overconfident. So, you know what? I think the lads will be up for it. You know, as a Philadelphia Eagles fan, and back in 2017, before the Super Bowl game, they had all the old legends from Eagles in the past and some fans that have been season ticket holders forever. They put together this collage video, and they all said, you know, go out and win it. And it was really, it really pumped up the Eagles. And a lot of the players said it really changed their outlook on the game, about how they were playing for a city. They were playing for an organization. They're playing for the history. I think if the new owners missed a beat somewhere, it's not utilizing the history and the players and the culture that is around. So I hope that they do that. I think that would, if we get these guys up, we're going to be pumped up. I'm telling you, and to let them know that not only the city supporting them, but the history and the culture and the whole nous of the region is with them, and that they would be heroes if they won. If that doesn't get your blood boiling, I don't know what would. I think we got a good ref, which is kind of nice. We know we're always playing against the ref and VAR against Liverpool. Well, we got someone who's actually, I think, is pretty neutral. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. But I think it's going to penalties, and we win 5-4.
Yeah, I've gone for penalties as well. To be honest, I've made no secret of it this week. I think it could go to penalties. And then the big question is, who do you want in goal then? Craig Hope on Twitter tonight is saying that if Pope plays well tonight, then he will be the goalkeeper. So it's an audition for the final, really, for him tonight. If he doesn't have a good game tonight, then Dubravka will start. But would you bring Pope on for penalties? I think I would, with his record as penalty saves is a lot better than Dubravka. So lots to think about. Cracking show tonight, lads. Thanks to Kev, thanks to Jeff, to Tom, to Barry, to Martin, to Pablo, to George, to Magnus, to Alan, to Darren, to Ian. Thanks to everybody for watching. I am back tomorrow night, and it is live. Me, Joe, and Rob with Talk of the Tune. And then Wednesday, it'll be Geordie's here. Geordie's there. Enjoy the game tonight, everybody. And there is your team. Pope, Trippier, Shaw, Joe Linton, Tonali, Barnes, Isaac, Tino, Murphy, Byrne, and Bruno. And on the bench, Dubravka, Wilson, Target, Kraft, Osula, Willock, Longstaff, Miley, and young Sean Neve is on the bench. Enjoy the game, folks. See you tomorrow night.
boys.
Take care, guys.
Away the lads.